Okay, we're continuing with our CMMS Software Evaluation Training video series. This is going to be video number 3, and we're going to get into work orders. Alright, so I have the program running. I'm going to go ahead and log in as an administrator. Now, to get to the work order screen, I'll go to this button. All these buttons will have a tooltip. The work order screen opens, and I notice I have menus across the top. I have a tab screen, and I have a data grid. This is showing me work orders that are already in the system. Below the data grid area down here, we have the boxes for input of data. And then in the lower right corner, we'll have these 4 buttons. Generally, these 4 buttons will be found on every screen, and they'll do the same thing. So if we want to create a new work order, we'll click New. The colored fields are the only required fields on this screen. I can choose an equipment, choose a task, and save it. That's all there is to it. Now, if I want to edit this work order, I left-click it with the mouse, and I can change some things about it. I can assign it to a person. I can give it a type. Now, everything you see in all these boxes, including the types and priorities, are all user configured. So you have full control over all this. I can also add extensive detailed instructions. And these can be of several different file types. Typically, it's going to be a Microsoft Word or rich text, but you can also add HTML documents. And I just opened a file that was already configured. This could be a procedure we'd already configured. I can open it right into this, or we could copy and paste into here, or you can actually take your PDF OEM user manual and select portions of it and drag them and drop them into here. So there's a lot of ways to get the text in here. I click OK. I could add file attachments. And these can be any type of file. They don't have to just be a picture. Okay, and at this point I'll just go ahead and save this. And now these changes have taken place. And we'll see there's our details. And we know there's details on this record because it colored the button. Alright, let's look at this work order. I'll do a print preview of it. And here it is. And we'll get into the finer points of the reporting system. And we're looking at one of the detail reports in MaintSmart. For now, I just want to look at the work order itself. And this can have parts lists attached to it. It can have multiple technicians or mechanics, whatever you want to call them. And so it can be quite elaborate. Okay, so that's our work order screen. Couple other things you can do here. You can take a work order, select it again with a left mouse click, and then right click on it and pick duplicate, and it will make an exact copy of it. Now, why would I want to do that? Well, maybe I want to make another work order, but maybe not for this same air compressor. But I want all the other characteristics to be identical. I can just select it and then change whatever characteristics about the duplicated work order that I want, and then click Save. So it's a quick way to create a near duplicate work order. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to log out as an administrator, and this time I'm going to log in as a different user. I'm going to log in as a requester. Now, we did this in an earlier video, but I didn't explain much about why we got what we got. So with the requester, it's the same work order screen, but a lot of the things are hidden. So it's much simplified. So what we have here, we have an option for simple input. Now what I did is I right-clicked in the grid area, which is this gray area. If I turn that off, now I'm back to my original screen. Now notice the requester doesn't have access to all the fields. There's very little they can do. And that makes sense because the requester is typically going to be a non-maintenance person, someone within your facility, that wants to request work, a repair ticket, for example. So we don't give them a lot of access to a lot of things. If you want to give them more access, then you can set the permissions however you'd like. The permissions in MaintSmart are preset for the 4 most popular user groups. However, you can tweak those and change them however you want, and then you can also add unlimited user groups and set them up however you want. So there's really no limits there whatsoever. So as a requester, if we come in here and we go, well, we're working on this roller bed out here as a production person, and we notice something doesn't sound right. Okay. We've got a noisy bearing. All right. And we can save it. And so that's gone in as a request. All right. And notice the requester only sees their request. They don't see anybody else's. Now, if we come back as the administrator later, and go into the work order screen, now you'll notice we have the request. The only thing that differentiates this request from a full work order is the status. As an administrator or any user group higher than requester, we can elevate the status to active. At this point, it's now become a full work order. So we can go in and we can modify this however we want, maybe pick some bearing tasks, inspect the bearings, and put on whatever other details we want, and then save it, and now we have a full work order. When the original requester goes back, he'll see that we're working on his request. Additionally, MaintSmart has an event notification system that you can optionally use. Nothing requires it. But what it does is, as various parts of the program are edited, for example, we're talking about work orders. If the requester puts in a work request and it gets elevated to active status, the original requester will be automatically emailed and notified that his request is being handled. So that's something you can use in the program. Not required, but it's there. I guess the final point on work orders is there may be a lot of boxes and buttons, but there's only 2 required fields. These same buttons do the same thing everywhere in the program. So if you learn this one screen, you've essentially learned them all. You choose the items you need. If you want to use a filter, you may. This will limit what shows up here. And you click Save, and that's it. So that is a very high level overview of the work order screen. If you want more information and a personalized demo, give us a call or shoot us an email. We'd be glad to do that for you. Thanks for watching.